So, in this topic, we will be discussing what are the main objectives of giving a poultry housing, and what are the different types of housing systems. That's what we will be mainly dealing with. So, to begin with the purpose of poultry housing, you can see one is protection from predator and harsh weather. Because earlier in most of the houses in Kerala, chicken or hens are commonly present. Even in city area, in my childhood, we used to have chicken. I am living in Cochin city, so here it was more common here. Now that practice has been gradually declining. Do you have chicken in your house? You have? No. Because earlier that used to be very common in most of the houses in Kerala. But now it is slowly declining. Only in rural areas, people are rearing this poultry or chicken in their house. So at that time, we used to have a separate cage for that. Otherwise, what happens if dogs are there? Sometimes foxes will be coming. All these will catch at night. So the purpose is to provide protection from predator and also from extreme weather. During rainy season, they need some kind of protection from heavy rain. So this, I will show you some pictures of poultry housing, how people are using poultry housing. So it's a small house-like setup. So this is a very large scale. See, this is a smaller one type. This type of houses are also there. So this is a very smaller one. So this kind of houses are needed. Here also you can see that. See, this is another type of poultry housing. A small traditional type of housing. So these kind of houses are needed for rearing this poultry because they need, it gives them some protection from predator and also from harsh weather. Second advantage of poultry housing is that they give them to ensure comfort for optimal growth and production. For example, if you are rearing poultry, for example, in this kind of a large farm, see here you can see that they are very large farms. Purpose of this large farms is that they will be rearing lot of chicken in the same place. So they require a well maintained, properly ventilated, aerated place. Then only these thousands of smaller hen or chicken can comfortably live in a place. So that is the purpose of poultry. So if you are cultivating or rearing this chicken in a small household level, we don't need large setup. We only need a smaller setup like this type of setup. This is a small traditional house that is present in that will be present in most of the houses in the rural areas. So this kind of smaller setup may be sufficient. But if you are rearing thousands of chicken, we need larger setup like this one. Only in a larger setup we can house many chicken. Then facilitate efficient feeding, watering and egg collection. See, in a larger setup like this, feeding the animal will be easy. Giving them water will be easy. And also collecting the egg laid by this chicken may be easy. So that is the advantage of this kind of advanced setup like this. So one important thing is that keeping the place well ventilated with sufficient air circulation, and we have to also make sure that the place is clean. If the place is dirty, we are not properly removing the waste material, that will lead to infection and different type of viral and bacterial diseases. So that is also very important. But in a smaller setup like this, The maintenance and cleaning may not be a big problem because we are rearing only 2 or 3 chicken. So they will be very comfortably living in this place. So at night it is well protected. Morning only we will be releasing. There is a cage around that. So if the chicken will be comfortably living inside that cage. But why most people are now not rearing chicken is that if you don't use this kind of net-like arrangement, what happens is that our chicken will be going to the compound of neighbors, and if they start feeding on the plants, neighbors will be quarreling with this. That may be the real reason why people have stopped this rearing chicken in our house, because chicken, they don't know any border, they don't know any borders. They will be going to houses of other people and sometimes damaging their plants, and people will get angry with this. So that is a problem. So this was, but earlier in almost houses of everyone there were chicken. Now nobody is rearing chicken. That's how. So if you start rearing, unless we have a setup like enclosed setup like this, rearing chicken may not be so easy. So that is one reason. Then next is that allow easy waste removal and disease control. See, in a setup like this, removing the waste may be more easy, and also that will prevent in spreading of disease. So that is another advantage of that. Then coming to the different type of housing system, free range system. Birds are allowed to roam freely outdoor, low cost but high risk of predation and disease exposure. So in a setup like here also it is enclosed. Normally in a free range system there is no enclosure, no house. The hen will be or chicken will be simply moving around in the compound or in the place where it will be living. So there is no restriction. So that kind of system is also a free range system. The birds are allowed to roam freely anywhere. So that was the practice used by people in our earlier days. Now people are not using it because one is that there is no cost involved. We don't need to give the chicken any food, the birds any food, because they will simply collect whatever natural prey available and will be feeding on that. But there is always a risk of predation will be there. Sometimes dogs or foxes will be there. Then disease exposure is there. Then deep litter system. Birds are kept in a closed or semi-enclosed space with a thick layer of litter. That kind of system is known as a deep litter system. We will find a picture for that. See, this is the kind of system. This kind of system is known as a deep litter system. See here you can see these are all deep litter system. So this kind of practice is known as a deep litter system. So there will be some kind of enclosure. You can see that enclosure means it is protected on 4 sides. Then there will be a thick layer of litter. The floor will be having a thick layer of sawdust, so that birds can comfortably stay inside. Then economically and allows, the advantage is that we are not limiting the chicken in a smaller space. So the chicken can simply move around. This will be normally a larger space, very large area. So chicken can move around. Then, but other problem is that it should be properly, litter management is important. We have to waste management important. Then another type of poultry housing is battery cage system. Birds are kept in small cages, often stacked in tier, and there is high production efficiency but the problem is that birds are not properly given their freedom. That is a problem, and we will battery cage system. See, this kind of system is known as a battery cage system. See here you can see that the chickens are placed one above the other. See, see, three layers are there. So unless we are giving the making the place thoroughly clean, neat, and lot of air circulation, this battery cage system is in a small space we are growing lot of chicken. That kind of approach is known as the battery cage system. Our broiler farms are actually practicing this kind of system. So the chicken may not be able to move around. They have to remain confined in a smaller cage like this. So that system is known as a battery cage system. Birds are kept in small cages, often stacked in tiers. See here also you can find 3-tier system is there. 3 levels are there. Then problem is that animal welfare concern. Here the birds are not given any care, any proper care. They are treated like some animals to be killed. That is the problem. So animal welfare people are strongly against this kind of practice. Then slated floor system. Another type of system is known as the slated floor system. See, this is another kind of system known as a slated floor system. See here also you can see this is a modern type of system known as birds are kept on a slated or mesh floor, allowing droppings to fall through. See here you can see that this is the bottom. This floor is having lot of holes. So when chicken will be putting the droppings will not be remaining there. That will fall into another tray. So it is easy to remove. So waste management is one of the most important problem in any poultry management. So when we are growing 10 chicken, it may not be a problem. But if we are rearing thousands of chicken, thousands of birds, then it will be a major problem unless we have special system for waste management. Improper waste management means diseases will be spreading and birds will be dying of many infections. So in a bigger cage like this, if there is a viral attack, maybe entire birds will be affected, like bird flu. Then we have to kill all these birds. There are no proper treatment. So that is the problem of this kind of system. A cleaner environment and easier waste removal are easy in a slated floor system. Environmentally controlled housing, mechanized houses with control over temperature, humidity and lighting. Then I will also show some picture of that. See here you can see that. See here, this is the environmentally controlled housing. Here everything is controlled. It is a closed setup. Light is controlled, air circulation is controlled, humidity is controlled, so and feeding is controlled. So everything will be given on a time. Sometimes it may be automated also. So very few people are needed for a system like this. But the problem is that the birds are not given much care. Actually, they are actually treated by some non-living thing. That's a problem of this kind of system. Environmentally controlled housing, mechanized houses with control over temperature, humidity and lighting. And this practice is mainly used for commercial farms. Earlier here also we have seen these are all commercial farms. So here also in a battery cage system or in a environmental housing, environmentally controlled housing also, we will be growing thousands of chicken, and that is the practice that we are seeing here. Then what are the qualities of a good poultry housing? So now you have seen different types of poultry housing. The most important points are mentioned here. One is ventilation. Ensure good air exchange to remove ammonia and control temperature. See, here they have a proper mechanism. High efficiency fans are there, exhaust fans are there. Otherwise, what will happen? Temperature will be increasing, and they will be always constantly monitoring the temperature. If the temperature is going up, they will be doing some kind of cooling mechanism by either using fan or other kinds of system. So that is an important thing. Ensure good air exchange to remove ammonia and control temperature. So if ammonia is present in the air, that will be also harmful for the birds. Then lighting is important. Artificial lighting can be used to control laying cycles in an air. So here you can see that the birds normally require 12 hours of lighting. So if there is more, if there is less time of lighting, for example, you are growing the poultry in Europe, where the natural light may be sometimes lesser than 12 hours. So in such a situation, if you are using natural light, the chicken may not be laying eggs often. So minimum 12 hours of lighting is needed for the birds to lay eggs. So that is one advantage of this environmentally controlled housing system or battery cage system, etc. Then another is temperature control. You are controlling insulation, light, heating. All these will be properly controlled by utilizing systems like this. Then space, adequate space or cage space to avoid overcrowding. See what is happening here. We are not giving them enough space. It's a battery cage system. So what if there are more space like this? Chicken will be tension free, stress free. Because if there is too much stress, less space for chicken to move around, birds to move around, they will be fighting with each other. So that is the same thing happens in a battery cage system. Like they also need free space. That free space is reduced here. So there will be a lot of stress, and this stress will be producing a lot of hormones like adrenaline, oxytocin, etc. That will be harmful for the health of the birds, and they may be susceptible or more prone to diseases like produced by virus or bacteria. So that is the problem with putting birds in a crowded space. Adequate floor or cage space should be given. Then biosecurity measures, fencing, footbath, restricted access to reduce. So too many people entering into these cages, that is a risk. Earlier in Munnar, there used to be one place called for rearing cattle. I think near that Matupatti farm. So I think some 20 years back, tourists can enter this Matupatti farm and see the cattle there. Now they have stopped that because when people are entering this cattle farm, they also bring different types of diseases. So that cause disease risk to cattle there. So one problem is that too many people entering into the farm may not be good because that can bring diseases, and sometimes that disease may not be creating much problem for human being, but for the birds it can create more problem. Then orientation, preferably east-west direction to reduce heat load from sunlight. How we have to orient the east-west direction that is the best thing, because if it is in the southwest direction, more sunlight will be entering the house during the noon time as well as morning time. So that is one method. So these are some of the important qualities which are needed for a poultry housing. Then next one is poultry equipment. What are the different type of poultry equipment we need? So one is feeding equipment. Here also you can see manual feeders are there, automatic feeders are there, chick feeders are there. So maybe here also you can see some of the feeding equipment. Here you cannot see. See here also these are all feeding equipment. See, this is a feeding equipment. This is another feeding equipment. So these are all feeding equipment. See here also you can find another one. See, this kind of feeding equipments are needed. So the chicken or will be easy to they get enough amount of food. So these are all working in a automatic setup. After every time when the feeds are over, new feeds will be automatically coming. So that kind of system is useful for large mechanized farms. Then watering equipment, manual drinkers, automatic drinkers, then chick drinkers. So these are the different type of watering equipment that we can give. See, here also you can find different types of water equipment. See here also you can see. The purpose of all these is actually to give them sufficient water. See here also you can find. These are all watering equipment. This is another type. So different models of watering equipment are. See here also you can see that. So these are all purpose of this is to give them food and give them water. That is another type of manual type is the automatic drinkers are also there. Then brooding equipment. Brooding equipment is another category. See, these are the different types of brooding. Almost all will be appearing somewhat similar. So this is the traditional way of brooding. So only if there is sufficient facilities for brooding, they will be laying eggs. So these are the different types of, see here also you can see brooding equipments are there. See here also you can see that. See, so this kind of things should be given enough space for them to sit and lay eggs. Then enough space, enough equipment for getting food or getting water. All these should be provided. So these are some of the equipments there. Then laying equipment should be there for hens to lay eggs. Different manual is there. Then egg collection belt. In large operation, for example, in large chicken farms, there will be these kind of things are not common. See here you can see that everything is coming automatically. See here also you can see that. So when a chicken is laying egg, the eggs will be falling onto a tray. See here you can see that. So it will be a completely automatic system. See, so from the tray it will be going to the, see here also you can see this is how the eggs are collected when they are being laid. Because if you are handling 1,000 or 10,000 chicken in a farm, this kind of automatic systems are necessary. Then that will be going to the conveyor belt. See, you can see that this conveyor belt will be carrying the eggs, and finally eggs are taken or put in cages like this. See here, you can see that. So everything is automatic. Very few people will be involved. See, the eggs are taken, eggs are then packed in cages. So this kind of machines are available nowadays. Now many like China, Japan are very good in making machines like this. So they will be packed in machines like this, and finally they will be marketed. So this kind of machines are now available for collecting eggs and also packing. Ventilation systems are needed. We have already seen some ventilation systems like this one. This is a very good ventilation system. So this kind of fans are needed. Cooling pads are used in hot climate. Then finally, cleaning and waste management. That is also an important thing. Then lighting systems are needed. Energy efficient, programmable for optical. That is, this kind of lighting they will turn off after 12 hours, and they will automatically turn on when after. So that kind of automatic lighting systems are very useful. Nowadays, LED bulbs are commonly used. So this is an idea of how we can grow or rear poultry in a commercial level, not at the traditional level or household level that we have seen here. This is the household or traditional practice of rearing chicken. Other ones are the more professional commercial level of growing chicken. So maybe we are very good in growing chicken at this level, at the household level, traditional level. But there are only 3 or 4 chicken, sometimes 10 chicken maybe, but not more than. But when we have 1,000 or 10,000 chicken, we need professional equipment like the things like I have shown here, or this kind of large. See here, you can see that when the eggs will be coming here, and this eggs will be automatically taken by the conveyor belt. So that kind of practices are necessary in a commercial farm. So that is an idea regarding what are the different equipments used in poultry farm.